longtime Dallas Cowboys beat writer for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. I like to call him Chill. He is Clarence Hill Jr. Chill, what's going on?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing well. Before we talk anything Cowboys, I saw you earlier today, and what's the first thing I walked up to you and told you about yourself today? What was I talking to you about?
He told about himself. What?
What was you doing? What you been doing on these Twitter streets as of late?
I don't know what you mean as of late. I mean, I've been on this long. I've been on this wall, as my man said. You can't handle the truth, okay? I've been on this wall a long time. I didn't just get on this wall. I've been on this wall. If you're talking about the fake show, I've been on this wall. I live on this wall.
Clarence, we putting
ain't nothing new. Ain't nothing new. Ain't nothing new here. Ain't nothing new with my Twitter language regarding the fake show.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I said years ago LeBron was never winning again. So years ago it's gonna be a long time for the Lakers to win again. Ain't nothing changed.
Clarence stay clowning the Lakers in the fake show, as he likes to call them, out here on these.
And that tainted title in the bubble that nobody wanted to play in.
See, what we're not gonna do is we don't even have time for all that today. We don't even have time to jump into that whole
tainted title in the bubble.
Okay. I'm just glad that that's what we're talking about, not like the different version of Lighten the Beam that was going on the Twitter timelines of late. Folks accidentally slipping and falling into the Rock.
What are y'all talking about? I'm sorry, what I missed?
No, I was just on Twitter. There was a lot of different conversations. So when KG was talking about the Lakers, I was worried that people were talking. You were talking about
something different.
Yeah, something else. People were talking about illicit drug use on the timeline, and I was like, I hope that's not where we're going.
No.
Oh, you're talking about the guy that accidentally did the crack pipe.
That's right. Accidentally found some rock.
Who accidentally smokes crack?
I can't understand it.
And what you missed was there were two things you missed if you're paying attention. He said the first time I accidentally did it, so he did it more than once.
That's right.
And number two, he said their family got kicked out of Jack and Jill because his dad was serving all the parents. I'm like, how you get kicked out of Jack and Jill? I mean, you know, if you guys are familiar with the bougie Jack and Jill crowd, how did he get in? And family got kicked out of Jack and Jill because the dad was serving all the parents. There was a lot going on there.
There was.
Listen, that's why I'm a good Twitter follower. You get everything. I don't know if you guys. There's some people on this beat who are just team heads who just gonna give you just nuts and bolts football. But you follow me, you get all of me. You're gonna get Cowboys and a little bit of everything.
That's right. Speaking of the Cowboys, Clarence, I want to have you take a listen to this question that you posed today to Dak Prescott, and now that you've had a little bit of time to marinate on it, give us your answer. Take a listen to what you had to say earlier.
Mike told us early in the offseason that you guys went over every interception last 3 years. What did you learn, and how does this offense help you, or what they're doing help?
Yeah, he didn't quite say that the right way. That wasn't all that what happened, you know what I mean? Okay. It wasn't quite that, you know. But, yeah, I just learned in the sense of it's really the things that we're cleaning up this offseason, and whether it been my decision making or the details within the play that ultimately my decision making fell fault to. So just being cleaner and understanding that, like, that's why I'm saying purpose is when you went back and you looked at that tape, you could see that guys weren't necessarily thinking what I was thinking, and we weren't on the same page, and maybe that clear out route didn't understand that he had to get out of there, and that was part of the interception. That when all 11 are on the same page and we understand why, the whole passing game is going to be cleaner. My decision making, my throws, these guys play making, them catching and run the ball, all of that's going to be cleaner.
So now that you've had a little time to marinate on that answer from Dak Prescott, any further takeaways from what he had to say after practice today?
Well, first of all, him disputing what Mike said, you got to understand that Mike has been known to embellish or exaggerate. It's just like when he got the Cowboys job, he told Jerry Jones he watched every play of the Cowboys the previous year. And then when he got the job, he said, I really didn't. You know, on the podium at the hiring announcement, you know, when during the interview, he said, I watched every play, every offensive play of the Cowboys year before. Then when he got to the podium, he said, no, I really lied, I didn't. And so I think this may be part of that, in a sense that maybe Mike did not go over every interception of the last 3 years. Certainly went over the interceptions of last year, but he was trying to sell how detailed and and how they were in the weeds on fixing this turnover problem that everybody went bonkers over last year. But the bigger picture is what we all thought. When they talk about one of the themes of the day was, about I cannot hold it. One of the themes of the day, they were just talking about getting on the same page and understand the offense better. And they were talking about play purpose. And they were talking about play purpose. And, everybody's focusing on Dak's interceptions and Dak's decision-making. And what we came away with Dak was talking about everybody needs to understand the play purpose and where they're supposed to be. And we all understand that you go back to the Green Bay game, and there were a couple of interceptions with CD and the tight end were in the same spot. And maybe they shouldn't have been there. And they didn't really understand the play purpose where it was supposed to be. That caused some of the miscommunication, some of the interceptions. That's what that's certainly what he was talking about. Certainly he needs to be a better decision maker, but everybody needs to do their job better to hopefully play more efficiently, play faster, and cut down on those turnovers.
Now, Chill, obviously, OTAs is something that, the media is privileged to get to, and I know this was day 2 of offensive install. So there's this level of consistency with, McCarthy and Dan Quinn, but also there's a little bit of change. Did you sense any difference in, the general vibe around the team, or did this kind of feel like business as usual around this team?
Well, I'm old school, and, back in the olden days when they really actually hit and did some things during the offseason, they called it the Underwear Olympics. Okay, it's just the Underwear Olympics. You're in T-shirts and shorts. You're supposed to look good in T-shirts and shorts. If you're a 22-year-old, 25-year-old, can't look good in T-shirts and shorts, you shouldn't have a contract. What they're doing now is less physical than two-hand touch, less physical than flag football. If you ever seen a real competitive flag football game or two-hand touch, they get physical out there. They put their hands on you. They can't do nothing right now. Everything is a glorified walkthrough, so it's really hard to judge what's going on. You certainly, I think it's interesting to see the position people they have guys in and who's playing where. But as far as who's doing well, you can't judge that right now. You're not getting anything out of this, and so the best part about this are the interviews and certainly again watching the alignments of what they do. But as far as what the offense is going to look like, how they're going to play, it's really hard to tell. And Dak and Mike were right. It's not like they're reinventing the wheel here. The offense was good. They're tinkering some things. They're changing some things, but they still have the same, terminology, the same language that Dak has used, even, with the Kellen Moore days. They're just trying to tinker with some things and just try to be more efficient, but it's not going to be a lot of wholesale changes on offense.
To Clarence's point, Mike McCarthy was talking about that with respect to the OTA, saying, quote, our team periods are basically walkthroughs and jog-throughs, so we won't have a competitive 11-on-11 drill here probably ever again in the offseason. Speaking to the idea, we're not trying to get fined and penalized by the National Football League.
And he already has a few times.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Mike McCarthy, I'm sure, taking that to heart after especially seeing the New England Patriots also get a couple of OTAs taken away from them as well. Clarence Hill Jr., the Fort Worth Star.
And they don't like it, and Dak doesn't like it. I mean, Dak, we talked to Dak off the podium, and he just talked about, the defensive backs cannot make plays on the ball. So you saw a lot of, catches and passes, but it's because the defensive back, one of the final touchdowns, the defensive back had an interception, but he pulled his hands away from the ball, and the receiver caught it. But if that would have been a live period, it would have been an interception. But they cannot make plays on the ball because they're trying to avoid contact, so they won't get fined. So they won't bump into each other. So they're not doing anything. So it's really hard to judge.
Clarence Hill Jr., the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, joining us here on the Get Right with Reggie KG here on 105.3 The Fan. Speaking to some of those observations, what were other things that you tried to take away and glean from based on what you observed today?
I mean, we saw a lot of different things. It was certainly seeing Micah get some linebacker drills. We spent most of the time with pass rushing drills and working with the defensive line and working with the defensive line coach, getting that stuff down. Just watching, getting the offensive line. Tyler Smith was at left tackle, And I talked to him afterward. He said he's done nothing but left tackle this entire offseason. He's got no work at guard. Tyler Smith was at right tackle. He's done nothing but right tackle this offseason. Certainly Terrence Steele is going to be a factor there, right tackle. But, he's not ready to participate. He's still recovering from that from a torn ACL. And you see Matt Forniak was working with the starters at left guard, and he's alternating with Chuma Edoga. Zach Martin in practice, so Josh Ball was over right tackle. But how they put that five together up front, they want to have the best five, and we'll see when Terrence Steele is ready to go how much guard he plays, because it looks like it's going to be Tyler, the two Smith boys at tackle. Whether you people like it or not, I know there are a lot of Steele fans who think he's better than Tyron Smith and he should be the right tackle. Let's even be considering that. But that's where the Cowboys are leaning, And again, Tyler Smith has not done any guard at all. He's done, and they're trying to keep him over there and leave him over there for the next 10 years. That's certainly the plan with him. Again, you see some of the other stuff, and I one thing that people should keep an eye on. Tony Pollard, again coming off that fractured ankle, he's not doing team drills, but he did some walkthroughs. But it's good to see that he's on or ahead of schedule in his rehab. He should be ready to go. And, that's good news. But it's at the beginning of practice, undrafted free agent fullback Hunter Lupke, from North Dakota State, who got $200,000 in guarantees from the Cowboys, he was working with the veterans down on one end, and not with the rookies. So he was working with the veterans as fullback. So it seemed like they have a plan for him, to make an impact as a fullback. So there's something there with him. So keep an eye on Hunter Lupke. Again, it was good to see Joe Witt Jr. back out there, who basically spent most of the time up in the box and not really on the field practice because of a medical condition last year. Good to see him back, ready to go. Mike McCarthy talked about Brandon Cooks and Gilmore and the impact they've made, and he's very excited to have Brandon Cooks on the offense. But both of them it's not just their on-field play, but they're excellent. They're going to make huge impacts on the field. But off the field, they're veteran influence in the locker room. What they're doing, they're already making an impact there. Diggs was not there. I don't know why. Malik Hooker was not there. I don't know why they were not at practice. DeMarcus Lawrence, Dante Fowler, Zach Martin were there, but they did not practice. I think Jordan Lewis is still rehabbing the foot injury. But Diggs and Malik Hooker were not at practice. I talked about Edoga, and Zach Martin was present, but he was not practicing today. It was interesting. I don't know if I brought up Michael Parsons, but again, he did a lot of rush linebacker work, defensive line work. All he did do, open the walkthrough, doing some drills, individual drills. He was not with the linebackers, not with the outer ball linebackers. He was with the pass rush guys. That's what he is, the pass rush linebacker, defensive end, edge guy, and that's what he's going to be. It was interesting that, again, I talked about Dak Prescott looks sharp, but again, they're not challenging balls. And during a 2-minute drill, he had 8 straight completions to get him down inside the 10. Then he missed 3 straight passes. The first one was an overthrow to Jake Ferguson. The next was a drop by Michael Gallup. And the next was a miscommunication with CeeDee Lamb. So if they're not making plays on the ball, no ball should be hitting the ground.
Real quick before we let you go, Chill, because you tackled the entirety of OTAs here, but you started talking about the wide receivers, and we know the starting 3 that's going to be out there, but the 4th wide receiver ends up being so important in the modern NFL. You have your, 3rd-round pick from last year, Jalen Tolbert. You have Semi Fehoko, who's just kind of been on the roster for a few seasons. Did either of those guys kind of factor in at all, understanding that, we can't get a full idea of what they are, but did any of those guys seem to factor in?
I mean, this is a big year for Jalen. I mean, Tolbert, you're a 3rd-round pick. You catch 2 balls as a rookie. You only play in 8 games. They invested a lot in him. He needs to take that second-year jump. We like Fehoko, but, he's more maybe can be a Noah Brown type and do some of the special teams. But as far as impact the receiver, it needs to be Tolbert to take that step, take that next step, and be the player that they thought he was going to be, because they certainly thought he was going to have a huge impact as a rookie, and he did not. And he admits he did not. It was a disappointment last year. Maybe they put too much on his plate. He was overwhelmed. But you need Tolbert to step up. They're going to give him every opportunity. But, again, right now it's too early to see. I saw nothing today that said he's going to be that. But you have to believe, being in his second year, being more comfortable, he's ready to live up to some of those expectations.